Thanks for being here. Thanks for choosing to spend a bit more time with me and Charlie today. We both really appreciate it. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the Madison Strangers Private Reserve playing cards. More importantly, I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know about the very special GAF playing cards that come with the Madison Chateau box set. Without further ado, I'm Daniel Madison. These are the Madison Chateau playing cards. So first of all, Charlie, we sat in a position where the sun is beaming directly at my bonds and reflecting off into the camera. So it's gonna look like a big beaming ball of light, which I guess it already is. What am I talking about, Charlie? We're talking about the Madison Chateau playing cards. So if you were lucky enough to get the box set or the Chateau Advocates before they sold out, well done, look at you. The fastest selling deck of my career catalog. I don't know what word to use. And of course we had a surprise awaiting, which was the Madison Chateau Private Reserve. And let me talk about this for a moment, because right back from day one when I did the Madison Rounders series, which at the time I didn't know that it would be a series or not. I just knew that I wanted the Madison Rounders, the original black with two white icons, my logos, as a classic, minimal, simple deck of playing cards. And I wanted them very selfishly, just for me, just so that I could have some. An illusionist helped me bring that dream to life and share them with the rest of the world. And that icon design has followed me, that minimal design has followed me throughout my career, through most of my decks. Like I stick to very simple formats, and the icon design is one of them. So move along to the Advocates, which is a very similar thing. It's just my logo, top, bottom, icon design, usually just a plain color in the background. But this year we're changing it up. No more plain colors, making things more interesting. Alongside the original Rounders, the black Rounders, we printed a blood red Scarlet Rounders Private Reserve deck, which was intentionally made just for me, just for my friends, and just for staff at Illusionist. But the business, the corporation, saw that as a money-making opportunity, and that's what it became. It became this big thing where we had a chance all of a sudden to make a lot of money. And that's kind of the story from my point of view as to where Private Reserve playing cards come from. When you stick Private Reserve on a deck of playing cards like their Private Reserve Chateau playing cards, it makes them seem a little bit more special than what they are. It gives them a prestige. But for me, calling them Private Reserve in this case was it was very much for that reason, so that I could have them mainly just for me. Now this is the reason why I've only released 300 of these decks. We printed 1,000, I've released 300 to the public. The rest of the 700 of these are just for me. I know that sounds very selfish, but it's always been in there, always been in the back of my spiritual mind, the idea of having a deck of playing cards that's just for me, or a deck of playing cards that exists just at the Madhouse. So we've let 300 of these go. If you check Madison.cards right now, you might be lucky enough to find one of those 300 decks of cards. If it says sold out, then I'm sorry. Best bet, your next best bet is to look on eBay, but please don't go paying any kind of silly prices. Please reach out to us, because I'm more than willing to help people out. Like if you're stuck for playing cards that are sold out, from our website. Don't go looking on eBay, get in touch with us, because I've seen the Scarlet Madison Advocates on eBay for $100. I have a bunch of them. We still got a bunch of them, so reach out to us. There's a chance that we can help you out. Anyway, the Private Reserve, I'll open this deck up first so we can have a quicker look. And I need to open up the normal Strangers too, so that you can see the comparison. You can see these side by side, and the main difference right from the start is kind of an inversion. So very similar in design, but I've just inverted the way that we print. So rather than the print like on the standard edition, the print is on the inside of the Charlie logo. On the Private Reserve, the print is wrapped all the way around the box, and the Charlie logo is in white. Now when you look at the decks, and I'll put these gaff cards aside for now, very important, that's what this video is all about. By the way, you get an extra 9 of clubs in the Chateau Strangers. So there's a duplicate playing card that goes in there. These are the standard Chateau Strangers, and these, by the way, were only available within the box set. You can only get these in the box set. Now the Private Reserve, let me take the gaff cards out of here too, which is basically double backer with the normal Strangers on one side and the Private Reserve Strangers on the other side, and then you get 2 duplicates. We get the 7 of Hearts and the 9 of Clubs. So let me quickly just put them in place. So this deck's good to go, and I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but a nice little surprise, I changed up the Ace of Spades so that the Chateau design was inside of the Ace, and the line beneath that reads, "Beware Stendhal Syndrome," which has been a bit of a tagline that's followed along with the entire Chateau campaign. Not that I like using that word campaign, but there you go. Beware Stendhal Syndrome, trying to recreate and trying to imitate or falsely create Stendhal Syndrome, Florence Syndrome in art automatically means that you have failed. You can't recreate it. You can't falsely create Florence Syndrome. I won't go off on a tangent because I can talk about that for hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. So we'll leave those aside from now. The other deck inside the Chateau box set is the deck that we also sold separately, which is, this is the Chateau Advocates, and these are just the standard Chateau Advocates. Inside here there are gaff cards. One of them was the Chateau Advocates with the standard Strangers on the back, and don't worry if you don't know what they're for. I'm going to teach a few tricks, a few videos to come on what to use them for. And again, 2 duplicate playing cards. In this case, Queen of Spades, which is Hannah, and then 9 of Clubs. So let me quickly just put them in place. 9 of Clubs, duplicate 9 of Clubs. A duplicate, by the way, is without doubt the most powerful weapon you could possibly have in a deck of playing cards, and I'll stand by that. Charlie, that's something that I will stand by. Now to the important part, the 2 gaff cards, that this video is all about. Let's look at the first one. This is for the standard Chateau Strangers. On one side you have kind of a faded 4 of Hearts which fades into the back design. On the other side you have a 7 of Spades which fades into the same back design. And then the second gaff that you get with this fading in a very different way is the nine of clubs fading into the Chateau Advocate's back design. On the other side, you have the two of hearts fading into the back design of the Chateau Advocate. So now, what are these for? Thanks for asking, Charlie. Time to do a little performance, time to do a bit of teaching. So without further ado, these are the Moors Gaffs playing cards, and this is how to use them. So a word to the wise right from the start. Anybody making playing cards, anybody designing playing cards, please stop printing jokers. We don't need jokers anymore. We're beyond jokers. I know it's traditional and a lot of people are stuck in those traditions, but 2 jokers, that's 2 extra cards per every deck that could be used as duplicates or as gaff cards, just like in this deck, just like in all of my decks. Now you might look at the Moors gaff cards and think they look very similar to Chris Ramsey's Melt. That's purely coincidental. We didn't realize we were creating something quite similar together. It's very similar in its concept, in the fact that you're making an impossible object as a souvenir that can be kept by your participant if you want to do that, but that means you can't do the trick again. Now I printed these quite different on purpose so that they're at different kind of fading angles, just so that they didn't look too specifically like they were printed gaff playing cards. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of gaff playing cards as it is, but a trick like this, and the inspiration for this, by the way, comes from my next project, the one after this, the one that I can't talk about yet, which has something similar to this in it. Think Anniversary Waltz, right? Think that, but in fact, don't think that. Just use that as a frame of reference. You'll understand when you see the next project. So let's first look at this with the Chateau Advocates, and then we'll have a recap with the Chateau Strangers. So basically, this gaff card has a two of hearts on one side and a 9 of clubs on the other. Now if you look at this very carefully, if you study this, the 9 of clubs is at the top here, the 2 of hearts is at the bottom here. Now this is very much intentional, because what we want this to look like, if I take out the 9 of clubs and the 2 of hearts, the intention is that we want it to look like these 2 playing cards have been pressed together like so, and then pressed together and squeezed into each other, merging, fusing, whatever word you want to use, into an impossible object. So there's this beautiful moment where you see these 2 playing cards going together, and it's at the moment where you turn it over and you see, it's almost like you're seeing behind the scenes, you're seeing a magic trick before it's finished. And this is how we set this trick up. We're going to set it up as if these playing cards are going to pass through one another. So to begin with, we need to, by having this card at the very bottom of the deck with the 9 of clubs facing towards you, so that you know what position it's in, so that once you've done your forces, you're going to take the deck, and as you're talking about the trick, you're going to cop off that very bottom playing card so it's in this position. So this is a gambler's cop of the gaff card, so that I can see the 9 of club instead of the 2 of hearts, and the 9 of club is toward me. A very important thing to note in this trick. These 2 playing cards have already been forced. The way that I want to take these playing cards back, when you put that 9 of clubs on top and you load it secretly on top of the gaff playing card, you have to make sure that the 9 of clubs is
upside down. What do you mean by that, Madison? Look at the middle club. You need to make sure that that middle club is upside down, is turned away from you so that it matches the gaff playing card. See how the gaff playing card, so the clubs are both exactly the same. Now I'm in the perfect position. So now I just want to hold these two playing cards together, not turn them over just yet, and now I'm going to start the effect. So I've done half of the dirty work, half of the work already. So you chose the 9 of clubs, you chose the 2 of hearts. Now I'm going to try and make these two playing cards pass through each other. So I place the 2 of hearts face down on top of the 9 of clubs. There's something very, very beautiful, I think, about the wording of this, because I'm downplaying what's about to happen. It is very Machiavellian. That is very correct. Thanks for correcting me on that, Charlie. When I say that I'm going to try and make the 2 of hearts pass through the 9 of clubs, we're lowering the expectations of the audience because they think they're going to see a swear word magic trick, when really it's going to turn out to be something so much more beautiful. So if I hold all play cards together like this, if I pinch them at the corners like this, and if I just squeeze them like this, they should start to pass through each other. At this moment, I'm going to turn everything over and I'm going to say, let's see if it started happening yet. So I turn everything over. Now this is the first big reveal, because our audience at this point are seeing something that looks seemingly impossible. They're seeing half of a 2 of hearts and half of the back of another playing card. Now don't worry about these playing cards being completely squared up. It doesn't really make much of a difference because we still want it to look like there are 2 playing cards there. So we go from here, turn those playing cards face over into our awaiting hand for, guess what? That's right, Gambler's Cup of those lower 2 playing cards. At this position, before we rush into the palming, before we rush into that Gambler's Cup, we want to let this sink in. So I hold it here for a moment, and now I'm going to Gambler's Cup. I'm going to get into position by moving everything backwards ever so slightly. Then I'm going to pick up the top playing card and move it forward towards my thumb, so that my thumb is pinching everything together like this. Notice how Gambler's cupped the hell out of those normal playing cards, the 9 of clubs and the 2 of hearts. In this position, with the dirty hand, I'm going to reach out to my participant, to either one of my participants, to Susan Sausage, to do the same thing, to grip both those playing cards. And I want to be very clear with my wording. I want to say, Susan, please do exactly as I'm doing. Grip both of those playing cards at the corner like this and squeeze. So as soon as she's got those playing cards, what she thinks is more the one playing card, as soon as she's got a good enough squeeze, I'm going to come away with the dirty hand and I'm going to get rid of these playing cards. Now there are a few different ways of getting rid of them. I personally don't like to get rid of them straight away. I like to just keep them in Gambler's Cup because nobody's looking. Apparently at this point everybody thinks apparently that Susan is holding everything, but look at what position I'm in. I'm in a perfect position to pick up the deck of cards, load everything to the bottom of the deck, get rid of the dirty cards, and then do the whole magical talk of, can you feel that? Can you feel those playing cards fusing together? You would be amazed. You would be smacked in the gob by the amount of times people say, oh yeah, I did feel something, when really they felt nothing because the magic is all up here. So meanwhile, Susan Sausage is holding the playing cards like this, and now I can instruct her, turn everything over to see if it worked. So now she turns over to see the opposite effect. The cards have started, they have begun to squeeze and fuse between each other, but it has stopped halfway, leaving an impossible object. Now, there are quite a few different ways of handling this effect, of presenting this effect, of making it your own. And the signed version is, in my opinion, a little bit too risky and somewhat unnecessary. But it looks a little something like this. You would have the gaff playing card in the middle of the deck. So the two of hearts with the gaff playing card here. And this is after the selection, by the way. The two of hearts has already been selected. And now we're going to go through the deck and we're going to find that two of heart. Now we're going to make sure, obviously we're going to make sure nobody sees this part. And I'm going to up jog it slightly like this. Hand the Sharpie to my participant, to Susan Sausage, and ask her, invite her to write her name, Susan Sausage, across the top of that two of hearts. And because of the set up and because of the design of this playing card, I can afford, once she signed that two of hearts, I can afford to do this. Blow that ink dry, because I'm displaying the back inadvertently, is that the right word? It's a very subtle hit. I'm blowing that ink dry before I'm pushing it back into the deck. Now before I push it back into the deck, if I want to do it with another signature on the 9 of clubs, I have to turn this playing card over in the deck. And once I've done this bit, drying and all this, all I need is a moment. And what card is it that you chose? And as they think about it, when people think, they usually look up to the left or up. They're never usually staring at the deck. This gives me the perfect opportunity to simply do this. Square the 2 into the deck and then use finger 3 under the deck to turn this card over like this, and then drop the rest of the cards down and turn the deck around like this. They're going to have said the 9 of clubs. So I'm going to look through and again make sure nobody sees this part. Up jog the 9 of club like so, and invite our participant to sign the 9 of club like so. Bring it up to blow and to dry that ink on that playing card. Once again, the back of the playing card shows no discrepancies. Now find and control 2 playing cards to the very bottom of the deck. We need the gaff playing card, which is signed, and we need the 2 of hearts. So I'm going to simply move them to the bottom like this. Now I'm going to take the 2 of hearts out like this, not let anybody see it, and I'm going to put it face down on top of the 9 of clubs. Take 2 playing cards away as I put the deck down. Now I'm in a situation that's quite dangerous, quite risky. If I move the first playing card, the top playing card, which is the 2 of hearts, backwards like this, I can show the signed 9 of clubs. If I keep everything held as it is and move that 2 of hearts forwards like this, slightly like this, I can turn it over like this, briefly showing the 2 of hearts. Our audience not seeing a signature on this side of the 2 of hearts simply means that that signature has to be on the other side of the 2 of hearts. Very, very simple. Now all that's left to do is to square up and do the same performance. I'm going to make your playing cards merge together, or I'm going to make them pass through each other. Depends how you want to perform it. I like the idea of saying I'm going to make them pass through each other because it lowers the expectation. So I start squeezing and then I start turning over to see if it's worked. But this moment, when you turn over and you show what looks like half of a 2 of hearts passing through the 9 of clubs with the signature on, this is a very magical moment, a very beautiful moment. And all that's left to do is Gambler's Cop the hell out of that lower playing card, which is the real 2 of hearts. So I'm holding it together still like this, and I do the same thing to my participant. Please do the same thing as I am. Grip those 2 playing cards together. This gives me all the time in the world to get rid of the 2 of hearts, but again, I like to keep hold of it. Nobody's looking. If you sat down, you can do a simple knee grip, so I'm gripping it behind my knee. So now my participant's holding the gaff, which is signed on both sides. I invite them to turn that card over to see if it's worked, and they have the Moors gaff signed by one person here and then signed by the other person here. A beautiful impossible object which can be kept by either one of the participants. In fact, you can ask them to fight for it. You can ask them to pay for it. What a beautiful moment. It is a shame that this is something that can only be done once, because as soon as those playing cards are signed, that gaff card is over and done with. But you do have the next one ready, which works a little bit differently because of the diagonal fade as opposed to the half fade, but you can still achieve the same thing by, when you're going through the cards and finding that 7 of spades, stopping around about here and just asking them to put a signature or initials on the top part here, and then doing the same with the other side with the 4 of hearts, finding the 4 of hearts and the gaff card, and then just inviting them to put an initial here. So you can achieve the same thing, not as easy with this, but I just didn't want to produce 2 gaff cards that looked exactly the same. So that is the basic handling of Moors. The Madison Strangers Private Reserve playing cards, I'm not sure if these have sold out yet or not. Head over to madison.cards to find out. There are plenty more things that you can do with the Moors gaffs playing cards, but I'm going to leave that for you to find out. If you use the Moors gaff cards or anything that I've taught and you perform it online on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, dare I say it, stick a hashtag on Daniel Madison so I can come along and check it out and perhaps leave a little bit of advice. The time between the videos that I'm creating for YouTube is becoming longer and longer because I'm so busy developing things here at the Madhouse. I'll fill you in a separate video. There's so much going on, I can't fit it into one video, so there's going to be a separate video for that. Plenty of opportunities coming up right here at the Madhouse. Also, dare I say it, Madison lecture at the Madhouse coming soon. I'm not going to give any dates, times, information or anything like that just yet. I've just started planning. Now that the lockdown is lifting, that allows me to do things like that, and also take these cameras out into the streets where I can show you my performances of everything that I've taught on my channel. Now, to everybody who did pick up some Chateau playing cards, whether it's the Advocates, the box set or the Private Reserve, thanks. Please have some patience with us. There's just me and Alan for now, packing, shipping, fulfilling and sending everything out for you. You will be notified with the tracking number once your item has left the Madhouse. And in the next video I'll have some very interesting news about somebody new starting right here working with us within the Madhouse. I am Daniel Madison. These are the Madison Chateau playing cards, and this has been Moors. See you next time.